This administration is pitting our uniformed military
and intelligence community professionals
against American citizens.
like us. You all swore an oath
to protect and defend this Constitution.
On a Friday morning, November 21st, President Donald Trump pushed back against accusations that he was threatening death to Democrats. Democrats who had publicly urged the U.S. military and intelligence community to defy what they called illegal orders coming from the Trump administration.
I'm Senator Alyssa Slotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly,
Representative Chris Deluzio,
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander,
Representative Chrissy Houlihan,
Congressman Jason Crow,
I was a captain in the United States Navy,
Former CIA officer.
former Navy, former paratrooper and Army Ranger,
former intelligence officer,
former Air Force,
we want to speak directly to members of the military
And the intelligence community.
who take risks each day to keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military
And intelligence community professionals
Against American citizens.
like us. You all swore an oath
to protect and defend this Constitution.
And right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad,
but from right here at home.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law.
Or our Constitution.
We know this is hard.
And that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
In the Army,
Our Navy,
The Air Force.
Your vigilance is critical.
and know that we have your back.
because now, more than ever,
The American people need you.
We need you to stand up for our laws.
our Constitution,
And who we are as Americans. Don't give up.
don't give up.
don't give up.
Don't give up the ship.
But Trump insists the outrage is misplaced, and the Democrats' actions, he says, are the real scandal. Speaking with Brian Kilmeade, Trump rejected the claim that he was calling for anyone to be executed. Instead, he accused the lawmakers of engaging in seditious behavior, a charge he says carries serious legal consequences. I'm not threatening them. I'm not threatening death. But I think they're in serious trouble. In the old days, it was death. That was seditious behavior. That was a big deal. It's a different world, a meeker, milder world. But what they did is really bad. He repeated that he wasn't suggesting modern-day punishment would go that far, but emphasized that historically, calls for the military to ignore a president's command would have been treated as a profound act of treachery. The video, posted by Michigan Senator Alyssa Slotkin, features a group of Democratic lawmakers who previously served in the military or intelligence community. They claim the Trump administration is pitting service members and intelligence officials against American citizens.
I'm Senator Alyssa Slotkin, senator from Michigan, former CIA officer. Earlier today, President Trump threatened myself and a number of other service and veteran lawmakers with arrest, trial, and death because he didn't agree with a video we put out this week. This really isn't about those of us who made the video. This is about who we are as Americans and how we're going to engage with people who we disagree with. I would hope that people of all backgrounds, Democrat, Republican, Independent, would agree that threatening death for people you disagree with is beyond the pale of who we are as Americans. I love this country. It has given me everything, everything. And I refuse to believe that this is the new normal. I refuse to believe that we're going to use fear and intimidation against people we disagree with. And I'm not going to be forced away from speaking up on behalf of my country. I swore an oath to the Constitution many times, most recently less than a year ago as a senator. To the Constitution, not to any one man, not to any one president. And I abide by that oath. For me, I believe in the power of this country and that we are better than our current politics represent. And I refuse to be intimidated out of defending the country I love.
To Trump, this was not a patriotic warning, but a dangerous undermining of presidential authority. Under the Constitution, Article 2 makes the president the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. It also grants him authority over intelligence agencies like the CIA and FBI. So when lawmakers tell soldiers and intelligence officers to refuse illegal orders, Trump argues they are attempting to override the chain of command itself, a move he says crosses from political rhetoric into outright sedition.
Article 2 of the Constitution states that the executive power shall be vested in a president of the United States of America. In other words, it is the president that defines the executive branch. When you read this language, it says that no court may take over that role. No court may define or limit the scope of the duties of an official of the executive office of the president, the people who work in the executive office. I think that what your amendment does is a violation of separation of powers, and it's a violation of Article 2 of the Constitution.
The gentlelady yield?
Yes, I will.
It's always good when the constitutionalist specialist comes in. It helps us all. So what you're saying is that the bill codifies Article 2 for purposes of the court being reminded and instructed of their limitations, and the amendment would undo that.
That's exactly right, because then it would imply that a federal court could in fact define or limit the scope of the duties of those individuals who work within the executive office of the president, and that is not a federal court's role. That is for, under Article 2, Section 1 of the Constitution, that power is vested in a president of the United States of America.
Could the gentlelady further yield for another question?
Yes.
Your understanding is, with the current president, or the last one, or the next one, if we don't do something like this, realistically, the chief executive, president, would continue to have to answer a myriad of claims in up to not just 50 states, but multiple places in 50 states. And if that tactic was used, even more so than it may have been used in the past, that you would have a president having to use non-official funds to answer a series of cases alleged not to be that way. Is that true?
That's the way that I read this, and I think that it's very clear, especially starting in 2017 when President Trump was sworn in the first time, that the courts have been used for nefarious purposes on a variety of issues. In fact, yesterday we had a hearing in our constitutional subcommittee about lawfare and how lawfare had been weaponized against President Trump, both while he was president as well as after his presidency. So again, I guess that I'm very skeptical of the idea that people are not willing to use lawfare to go after a current or former president. We've seen it over the last 9 years in many different instances. But the president is the one who gets to define the limit and scope of the duties of the personnel within his office. That is very clear from Article 2 of the Constitution.